And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday Afternoon QSO-VLOG Network. This is a directed network, and I am net control. If at any time during this net should an emergency arise, please notify net control, and we'll stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time? And hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about ham radio and being all that you can be. That's what our QSO-VLOG network is all about, trying to help people achieve the best sounding station possible. Thanks for dropping by. FYI, my background is 50 years in commercial broadcasting, where a lot of big bucks are spent on audio processing equipment and getting it set up correctly to get the loudest, fullest sounding station possible. Well, long story short, when I became a ham radio operator, I could hear immediately a large discrepancy in on-air technical proficiency. A lot of stations were running with very poor mic equalization, very muddy, with little articulation. And as I continued to work stations, I realized most of the stations were also running very low average peak modulation, many around 30% of average peak modulation. So with my background, I felt I could help, or at least try. I knew that most modern-day ham transceivers did have enough onboard processing equipment to be able to overcome most all of the problems. So it would just be a matter of developing a generic dynamic range setup procedure and then adjusting the onboard EQ gear. And so I started the QSO-VLOG network with the phrase, if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. And today we're currently featuring over 1,900 QSO-VLOG Aircheck recordings. Our mission statement for the network is to establish a higher technical level of radio transmissions of the human voice by the intelligent utilization of available electronics in current amateur radio transceivers. Our setup, while generic in nature, converts the average 10 dB dynamic range transmitter with an average 30% of peak modulation to a much fuller 3 dB dynamic range with an average 80 to 85% of peak modulation. This substantial boost in audio transmit level is extremely beneficial in high noise levels and heavy QRM. It allows you to punch through when others fail. The second part of our transmitter setup has to do with proper mic equalization. We're looking to optimize the transmitted voice for a higher degree of intelligibility through the use of EQ patterns that bring out the articulation aspects of the human voice. Again, why need to hear the voice if you can't understand the words? Also this afternoon on the receive side, we're running 4 Internet SDR receivers, monitoring New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Virginia, trying to get the best copy possible out of our 100-watt friends. Now the audio from these 4 SDR receivers comes up on a 6-position rotary selector. Also in the selector is our local receiver audio. And today, our local receiver is running 3 large 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas, one aimed at 0 degrees, one aimed at 90 degrees, and number 3 is aimed at 134 degrees. In addition, 2 of the 3 may be rotated separately. They are selected by a 6-position rotary selector. Also today, on the transmit side, we'll be running our no SWR specifically oriented dipole antenna. One leg of this dipole is broadside to Montreal, Canada. The other leg is broadside to Miami, Florida. As we were constructing our station, our mantra was 20 over from Montreal to Miami with a hotspot through the Carolinas. And although conditions may vary, the general performance of this antenna supports its mission. Also today, we'll be running our input source indicator. So when we switch from an Internet SDR receiver to our local receiver, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube QSO-VLOG video. And as we come together for another Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network, let us pause just a moment for the amateur radio operator's prayer. Lord, we pray for clear 20 over S9 communications today. Let all our transmissions fill the air and reach their destinations QSA-5 to be understood by all. And as we pray for good radio conditions, let us also pray for good human conditions. Lord, with all the conflicts going on in the world and here in the United States, hopefully with your divine power you will be able to help us perceive better situations. And with that, we will say that also stations checking into our QSO-VLOG net, please keep your bandpass to no wider than 100 to 2900, because this is an area of the band that a lot of networks are trying to operate, and we want to try to keep everybody happy. So please, if you're checking into the QSO-VLOG net, keep your bandpass to 100 to 2900. This is the KC9VKV QSO-VLOG net, and now we'll check in and see if Charlie K1GZL is on board. Charlie's QTH is up north in northern New Hampshire. Charlie, this is KC9VKV. Good afternoon, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Oh, yeah. Real fine, Jim. Beautiful copy in here. About 15 over direct. I am on my cloud warmer, 3-element wire beam, firing straight up in the air. It's designed for short skip and high angle. However, you're doing very, very well on it. So it's a beautiful day. The temperature outside now on this December 3rd is 18 degrees. Winds are moderate from the northwest. And we had probably about half an inch to an inch of snow early this morning. But you sound very, very good, and I hope you're copying me down at your place. KC9VKV, K1G George Zebra, London.
Roger, Roger, Charlie, going through Milford, and in Milford you're doing probably about a 20 over. Very, very nice signal.
About a 20 over. Very, very nice signal.
Okay, thank you very much for that. We could have a major snowstorm on our hands around Wednesday, especially Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday night, and I'm not sure, but we're going to have light snow turning to rain on Monday. On Monday, that that makes a mess. By the way, I have a previous recording of Captain Mike when he left here, and a day or two later was flying west. I believe he was somewhere out over western Nebraska when I recorded this. Here it is.
We certainly had a great time. Jay says hello. And we're right now in Iowa. Just
Iowa.
To Nebraska. We're about 65 miles north of Omaha right now at 36,000. So, but yeah, we made the connection. It was flawless, really. Landed it better, to be honest with you. It was picture perfect. We did get that snow. We drove in it for several hours out of about maybe 30, 40 minutes after we left. We did encounter some snow, but no troubles on the roads at all. And we didn't get back as quickly as we got up there. It took us probably about maybe 3.5 to 4 hours, but we got back in plenty of time, probably about 2 hours there, and made it back to Philadelphia at about I think around 8 o'clock, I think it was, or 7:30. And I actually caught the last part of your QSO there with Jim last night.
Okay, and that was Captain Mike on his first trip west after leaving, but he's off the air, I think, until about the 28th. He's on sort of a short vacation. He's off until the 28th of the month. So I'll turn it back to you on this bitter cold day with the wind blowing at 18 degrees Fahrenheit. KC9VKV, K1GZL, if you can still hear me.
Oh, perfect, Charlie. I'm glad that's you up there in 18 degrees and not me. I fall apart somewhere below 32 degrees. I don't know what it is. I wanted to ask you about your antenna now. What happened to your main antenna?
What happened to your main antenna?
Well, what happened to my 40-meter quad is two things. Jim. For one thing, I had a 2x4s and 4x4 to start with, 2x4s connected to, on a pole I had up about 35 feet, and that was holding up the southeast side or the south side of the 40-meter quad. Now, I found a couple of months ago that was broken. That was not collapsed, but it was in a crazy angle, only being supported by about two 2x4s, and with the weight and everything else. I did have the 40-meter quad running over the top of that and over to the major pole or the center of the quad director, but that was on a crazy angle. Obviously, that had collapsed. That had collapsed because my SWR had dropped way down the band, but still, further down the band, it was still about a 2.5 to 1 SWR. In other words, it's not, advisable to use that. However, then I tuned the band a day or two later. I had a dead short, absolutely dead short to zero. Then I found out why a day or two later. The bottom end of the director, not the director, but the driven element, which goes up from the side of the quad on the north side down to the the ballon, had broken off at the ballon, completely broke off, and it was hanging down into the snow. So the only antenna I could use on 40 meters is the present one, the 3-element wire quad pointing north. I'm going to be ordering a ballon for this. I'll have to replace the ballon. It's a mess with glue in there and everything else. It looks like it was really broken off in a very bad side, the north side. I had to, that is going to be a mess to try to correct. So I'm going to order a new BK5W, whatever it is, and get and replace that, or at least try to replace that. I'm still suffering a little bit of uneasiness left over from this valve heart replacement I did have 2 months or so ago, so I'm still coming out of that. So if it isn't one thing, Jim, it's another, but that makes life interesting. KC9VKV, K1GZL.
Roger, Charlie. Yes, it does keep one interested in moving along. I wish you a speedy recovery on your medical situation. I was just wondering, what is the possibility now? I know that your age is up there just a little bit. What is the possibility of maybe getting some assistance from your local ham radio club?
Well, we don't have a ham radio club up here. There are not too many ham radio operators, and some of them are not in the best of condition. I don't want anybody else working on it. I'll just have to be patient until I can get at it. By the way, your signal on this cloud warmer, which certainly has no gain down where you are at all, but hearing you directly, here's just a little bit of your own signal.
30. And I actually caught the last part of your QSO there with Jim last night. But,
okay, right here.
32 degrees. I don't know what it is. I wanted to ask you about your antenna now. What happened to your main antenna?
Okay, Jim. Well, look, I won't hold it any longer. We will try our very best to get on next week. But in the middle of the week, we may have a fairly decent snowstorm up here, and we've had now about 29 inches of snow for the season, and that's considerably below normal. And all of that, except for 1/10 of an inch in October, is all we've had this season. And as I talk to you, there's probably about 7 inches left on the ground. So that is way down from what it should be. Back to you, and you really are coming in good. KC9VKV, K1GZL. Whoops, there goes my voice.
Roger, Charlie. Well, 73 up that way, sir. Thanks for dropping by. As always, a most interesting situation, and we'll get Captain Mike live on tape here coming in the next week or so, and that's a good sign. So 73, Charlie.
So that's a good sign. So 73, Charlie.
All right, 73, Jim, and keep up the good work you're doing. K1GZL is clear.
This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, and my name is Jim, better known in some circles as Dr. VKV, and we're recording now live till 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. We'll post this recording up on YouTube in the next couple of days, so when you go to YouTube, just do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. KC9VKV logbook on a YouTube search, and that will bring up this QSO-VLOG recording. It'll be number 1 in a series of 1900. So, and the first 50 or so are most interesting. Also, you might check those out as you look for this recording. So you'll go to YouTube and do a call letter search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. This is KC9VKV with the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio that you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio that you want to check out, give me a shout.
Whiskey Mike 6 Papa, WM6T.
Whiskey Mike 6, I believe it was. Come back slowly phonetically with the call sign.
6, I believe it was. Come back slowly phonetically with the call sign.
Sure, this is Whiskey Mike 6 Papa. Whiskey Mike 6 Papa. Steve in Georgia, over.
Roger, Steve in Georgia. And what radio are you running, sir?
Roger, Steve in Georgia. And what radio are you running, sir?
I'm using Elecraft K4. I've had about 3 days now. Using the hand mic. I've set up EQ. I think it sounds pretty fair, I've been told, but very much like to get an analysis, over.
Roger, listening to it now, and you are in K4, 6 region, Roger?
K4, 6 region, Roger?
Negative. I'm in northwest Georgia.
All right, so that would be a 4 region, I believe. Anyway, I have a map for different regions that I kind of assigned LEDs to, so I tried to match up the region with the folks that are transmitting. Looking at your audio, maybe you might be able to give me maybe 10 seconds or so. Tell me about your antenna system, and I'll look at a little bit, Roger.
Your antenna system, and I'll look at a little bit, Roger.
Wonderful. Again, the handle is Steve, Sierra Tango Echo Victor Echo. Just received this K4 using an Elecraft amplifier. The antenna is a very simple inverted V, half-wave resonant with the apex at about 40 feet. And I've set up the EQ to try and cut down on some of the bass, and hopefully it sounds pretty good. Over.
Roger, we'll do a little work on that just in the short if you would be interested. We have a setup procedure that you might be interested in. Starts with your compressor engaged at a 3. It's a token amount. You'll never hear it on the air, but it helps us resolve at a 3 dB dynamic range at the end. So our procedure for setup would begin with the compressor at a 3. Roger?
Begin with the compressor at a 3. Roger?
Roger. Hold on. Let me gain that control. As I said, this is a new radio to me, so let's see here. Okay. We'll turn the compression. Well, we'll start with it off. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this is a setting of 3. Let's see here. It's registering about 5% compression. Where do you think I ought to go from here, over?
That's good. We're looking for 3 out of 10, 30 out of 100. Only want about a third of the capabilities of that compressor, Roger.
About a third of the capabilities of that compressor, Roger.
Roger, I think that's about where we are right now. It's a minor amount of the compression, over.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, double check to be sure that your passband is running 100 to 2900. Passband 100 to 2900, Roger.
Passband 100 to 2900, Roger.
Okay, I was in error. Now I am at 1/3 compression. It turns out this is 10 out of 30. And, all right, we'll accept the passband. Well, I have control over the receive, but the transmit is set for a 2.9. I could go into my menus here, and we'll get to transmit TX in a moment, over.
Well, Steve, 2.9 and 2900 are the same thing, Roger.
Steve, 2.9 and 2900 are the same thing, Roger.
Correct. If you're going from 0 to 2900, right, over.
Roger. Actually, normally that 2900 bandpass is 100 to 2900, but you sound, close enough for government work, so we'll consider you running 100 to 2900, Roger.
Roger.
Roger. It does say TX.
Gosh, Milford, my SDR that I was on just kicked me off. So I'm on my local antenna, and I just heard you back off your key. I think I've got a pretty good copy on you. Let me hear you for just a second and see if I've got you on my local antenna.
Okay, this is Whiskey Mike 6 Papa, WM6P, over.
Yes, sir. Got you loud and clear, probably about almost 15 over, so very good. All right, so now let's go to your ALC with mic gain in hand. And where you speak fairly rapidly, 100, 200, 300, or 100, 100, 100, whichever comes first, but just at a nice tempo. Adjust your ALC to where it's running mid-scale to 2/3 by way of mic gain control. Mic gain control to make that ALC run 100 to 20. I'm sorry, make that ALC run mid-scale to 2/3. Roger.
Roger. Okay, that's where we are right now. It's showing ALC approximately 2/3. I'll turn down the mic a little bit. Yes, that is just right about 2/3, over.
Roger. And, your position to mic is very important. Are you running, about 3-4 inches from mic?
Possibly a little bit closer than that. More like 2 off to the side a little bit, over.
All right. What I want you to do maybe is crank in a couple of clicks treble boost to kind of brighten you up a little bit. That's why I asked you how close you were, because obviously, we're engaged in proximity effect as you get closer to mic. So now, if you're running just a couple of inches off that mic, you might want to raise your treble EQ. Let's say 3 clicks treble boost from where you are. What kind of EQ do you have, by the way?
I have an 8-band. So for the treble, I've got a 3200 hertz band, 24, 16, 12, and so forth down the band, over.
Yes, sir. Okay, the 2.4, bring that up 2 clicks, and the one above that, bring that up 4 clicks.
Okay, I've increased the treble on the 2400 and the 3200. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, over.
Okay. Do you have anything around 27, 26 around through there?
Well, I've got the 2400 would include the 2600. The step here is from 3200. There's a band down to 24 and 16. So in the treble range, those are my 2 center points of small bands.
Yes, sir. Okay, well, let's try that upper frequency with the one above 2.4. Bring it up 4 clicks boost.
Okay, it's at max. It's at a plus 16 dB at the moment.
Oh, it is. Wow. That's a little high for, the ideal frequency, I guess, would be about 2.7 or somewhere in there. So you're saying is that the uppermost bandpass that you have on that EQ?
That is correct, 3200, and it is maxed out, and I can certainly bring it down. such that the 2400 is dominant. Over.
Yes, sir. Now, is that a parametric?
I'm uncertain.
Okay. Do you have 3 controls for each frequency or only 1?
It's a fixed band equalizer with sliders, and I can set it from minus 16 dB up to plus 16 dB in each of the 8 bands. Over.
Roger. Okay, let's take that 2.4 up 2 more clicks.
Okay, that's maxed out at the plus 16 dB. Over.
Alrighty, and gosh, why don't you give me about 10? You have a radio story handy. I would appreciate maybe a half a minute or so radio story, and I could listen to your audio a little clearer. Roger.
Okay, well, I shall try and be creative. The Elecraft Corporation, located in Watsonville, California, they got behind on their K4 deliveries. They were hit by COVID, wildfires, and the state of California shut them down. And they had to leave. Everyone had to leave the production line. So that was quite a disaster for them. But they have begun producing, and they have delivered serial number up to about number 450 for this new radio. So I hope that assists you. Over.
Yes, sir. It looks good on the frequency meter there as far as your the EQ curve. I would go with that. And your dynamic range seems to be about 3 dB, which is what we're looking for, which would mean that your average percent of peak modulation is running about 80 to 85%. So I would get the Gorilla Tape out and taper down, sir.
Okay. I shall make a note of those settings. And like yourself, I like to have lots of treble in my voice. When it gets a little noisy on the band and so forth. Unfortunately, it seems like 50% of the hams sound like they're in a barrel. For some reason, they want to boost the 0 to 500 hertz, and and then it makes it very difficult to understand them. Over.
Yes, sir. The thing is, if you're going to have a lot of bottom end, you need a lot of top end. The whole idea is balance the top to the mid-range and the bottom to the mid-range. And that's why we normally say that in a multi-band equalizer, like an 8-band or 16-band or whatever you have, we want all those frequencies in the mid-range flat. Because, here you pay big bucks, for a microphone that has a halfway decent frequency response, particularly through the mid-range. So there's no reason to create divots in that frequency response in the mid-range. It's the top and the bottom that you want to balance to the mid-range, Roger.
I understand. Okay, well, do you have any other suggestions for the EQ, or do you think it's fairly well optimized?
I like it. I would suggest that you break out your ALC meter as for something to do and for something to look at as you're speaking along. Keep your ALC meter out for the next week or so and be looking at that ALC as you're talking. And pretty soon I think you'll be able to command that ALC to do exactly what you want by your voice. Okay.
Well, it does show full time on transmit, so there's no getting around it. Over.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, that's in lieu of a VU meter. I think the ALC meter does nicely. It tells you exactly what's going on, and and more precise than maybe RF output would. Roger.
I understand. Well, unfortunately, this radio on transmit shows ALC, RF power out, SWR, and compression simultaneously, so it's the display really keeps you informed.
Yes, sir. Well, somebody with some brains is designing that radio. That's beautiful. That's the whole thing, to be able to get instantaneous feedback about what's happening with your radio. Roger.
Roger. May I have your name and location, please?
Yes, sir. The name here is Jim Juliet India Mike, and we are located just across the river from Louisville, Kentucky. We're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville, Kentucky.
Got it. I have not been to that area in quite some time, but I know it's lovely. Over.
Yes, sir. Louisville, home of beautiful horses and fast women.
Okay, well, I'll certainly vote for that.
Roger, Steve. All right, 73, sir, and you have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend.
Thank you very much, Jim. I'll look for your YouTube under your call sign logbooks.
Yes, sir, that's it. KC9VKV, on a YouTube search, KC9VKV logbook, and that will bring you to our QSO-VLOG page. There's 1,900 QSO-VLOG recordings there. This one will be number one. Regardless of what YouTube says it is, this one will be number one, and we'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Wonderful. Well, I'll look forward to listening to that tomorrow. And it was just a miracle. I just happened to run across your service here, and I do thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We just do this on Friday afternoons, and it keeps us busy all week long processing the information. So, 73, Steve, thanks for dropping by.
You're more than welcome, and thank you, Jim. 73. I'll be monitoring.
Roger, Roger. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
J.E. Mobile.
I heard a Mobile back in there. Mobile, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
Hello, Kilowatt 4, Lima, Juliet Echo, Mobile, Eden, North Carolina. The handle is Jim, Juliet India Mike.
Roger, Roger, Jim. Now, you're in your Mobile at the moment?
I sure am. I just thought I would say, hey, this thing has been acting up a little bit, but I think I pretty much got it stabilized right now. We're on the way home from work.
Roger that, Roger that. Well, gosh, I got to get on the horn here and get my my Milford SDR up. I was engaged in a previous conversation, and instead of getting that Milford SDR up, I was yapping, so now I got to spend just a moment here, getting these guys back in line, and I just about got Milford back up. All right, let me see if I got you on Milford here, Jim.
I got you on Milford here, Jim. Roger, K4LJE, Mobile, and we now currently are coming around the town of Reedsville, North Carolina. We're headed home to Eden, North Carolina. Hopefully to have a weekend of at least semi-relaxation anyway, over.
Oh, Roger, Roger. You're gangbusters on Milford. I would say 15 over there. And that audio is, you seem to maybe have the compressor on, but your audio's over the compressor, so it sounds just beautiful like it is, Roger.
Sounds just beautiful like it is, Roger. Yeah, I've got the processor on. I can switch it off if you think I need to.
I tell you what, just out of curiosity, key, no speech, just key, and let me look at it real quick.
Key, and let me look at it real quick. Okay, that was a key with no audio.
Yes, sir. I don't want to get you in traffic trouble, but if you have easily can adjust that compressor, I would say move it down to about a 3 or so, Roger?
About a 3 or so, Roger. Okay, we got it, it's still engaged, but that's down about a click and a half right there.
Yeah, I think that's fine. That's fine. Mobiles have a particular problem with a high ambience level, so it's hard to run compression in a mobile because of the high ambient level. But I think your last setting is really good, Roger.
Is really good, Roger. Okay. Usually, customarily, I run no processing at about 10:30 or 11 or somewhere along in there. This is 9 o'clock with, I'm putting at a stoplight here now. This is 9 o'clock with the processor in. Yeah, that's better because I can tell when I breathe. A while ago, I'm sure it was catching right much of the wind noise from my orifice in the lower forefront of my head there.
Yeah, I think that's biologically correct. I'm not real sure, but the thing is, a 3 will give you the same thing as a 6 without the suck up. a 3 compression level will give you the same compression work on the words, the true words, as a 6 will, without the suck up between the words, which doesn't do you any good.
Between the words, which doesn't do you any good. Okay, right there is about 8:30. I backed off just a hair more. Right there is about 8:30 on the clock. K4LJE.
Yes, sir. Your residual background noise is about 4 to 5 dB below your voice peaks, so that's really good. Roger, Roger.
So that's really good. Roger, Roger. Okay, well we'll think about that. And actually, really, I have chased right much DX with this rig, and that's about when I leave the processor on. But really now I don't have any reason for any processing, but it helps. It helps when you don't have that going for you there on the mobile.
Yes, sir. Now just looking around on my SDRs, and you're as hot in Georgia as you are up in Milford, PA, Roger.
Georgia, as you are up in Milford, PA, Roger. Yeah, well, thank you very much. Yeah, this suffers from. This is a Kenwood TS440. This is a Kenwood TS440, and it also is starting to suffer from the notorious dot problem in the display. They put some kind of stuff across the processor circuit to keep it from vibration when being used mobile, and it becomes conductive after a period of time, and they have to go in, a repairman has to go in and pluck all of that adhesive. It's kind of a glue kind of stuff, or some kind of epoxy or something that keeps all the components from shaking around. So after a period of time, it creates a semi-conductive coating on the components around the main processor, and it makes it go crazy. And this thing is starting to suffer from that. Over.
Yes, sir, Jim. Now, does your manufacturer recognize it's a design error, and they take care of that as a freebie?
Recognize it's a design error, and they take care of that as a freebie? No, not right now, because this thing is old. It's a TS440, so it's very old by now. But there are a couple of guys, well, more than that, probably across the country, that will fix them at a fairly decent rate. One thing you can do, you can cut it off and on a few times, and it'll finally, you can give it a slight whop on the side, and it'll help it sometimes.
Ah, yes, I'm familiar with that. There's a highly technical procedure somewhere between a ballpoint hammer and a fist.
A fist. Yeah. No, I mean, it really, I've read a lot about that, and this is not the only one that suffers from it. It's a bunch of the Kenwoods did. I think they used to maybe warranty it, but this one I'm sure they won't, because this thing is several years old.
Yeah, Roger. Well, it's done its thing. It needs some Obamacare or something, Roger.
Some Obamacare or something, Roger. Well, if I had the money, probably I could jack this one up and slide a new mobile rig up here under it, but we're just going to run this one probably till it dies. Well, look, thank you very much for your help there, Jim. Really appreciate it. And been a good copy here. Been a good QSO. Been a real good signal coming from Louisville, Kentucky area. KC9VKV. Thank you very much, and God bless. I appreciate the prayer to start the deal here today. K4LJE Mobile.
Roger, Jim. That's Mobile sounding just beautiful. Nice EQ curve, and your dynamic range is about 3 dB, so you got that radio set up real nice. And the thing about the opening this afternoon earlier, I somehow forgot that page 4 was on the back of page 3. Now, I've been doing that opening for probably about 6 months, the same opening, but and there's never any problem. I always know that the next page after 3 is on the back of 3, and it's 4. But I just, for some reason, it just slipped my mind, and I ran out of the opening and had to ad-lib the rest. But, after you do it enough, you kind of remember what it was. Anyway, Jim, sounding really good, sir. Thanks for dropping by, and lots of peace and tranquility in Eden, Roger.
Tranquility in Eden, Roger. Yeah, Roger. We hope so this weekend. We've got the wife and daughter to deal with the weekend. I've got to go to my daughter's attic and run some wiring. I got to run some receptacles and a new light for her bathroom and stuff like that. So I got a little bit of busy work to endure this weekend. So thank you very much, and you have a good weekend. Appreciate it. K4LJE Mobile, Eden, North Carolina.
Roger, Jim, 73 of that way. And if you're up in the attic, be sure and wear a mask. See if you've got an N95 or something that you can wear up in the attic so you don't breathe a lot of that stuff up there, whatever it may be as far as insulation. And for the other station in there, this is frequencies in use. This is the QSO-VLOG net. Friday afternoons from 3:30 till 5. We record live and then post it up on YouTube. It's a YouTube search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. KC9VKV logbook will bring you up to this recording, and we'll have it uploaded between now and noontime tomorrow. This is KC9VKV, the QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Video you want to check out, give me a shout.
KC9VKV. Kilo 1 Tango Oscar Delta.
Station ending in Oscar. Station ending in Oscar. Come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
Come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
Yeah, the call sign again is November 2 Alpha Oscar Oscar. That's N2AOO. The name is John, and I'm in Southport, North Carolina.
Roger, John, into AOO in North Carolina. And John, what radio are you running, sir?
And John, what radio are you running, sir?
I'm running an ICOM 7300. An ICOM 7300.
All right, John, why don't you, are you on your base or you're not mobile, Roger?
On your base or you're not mobile, Roger?
Affirmative, I am not mobile. Affirmative, I am not mobile. I'm on the base.
Roger. Well, why don't you give me about 10 seconds and tell me about your antenna system, and I'll look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
If I could find a better path for us, Roger.
Okay, KC9VKV.
This is November 2 Alpha Ocean. Well, the antenna that I'm running is a Wolf River coil vertical at the moment. And I'm direct to that, no tuner involved, and then I also have up a G5RV Junior dipole, which I load up through a VersaTuner here.
At your ring, KC9VKV N2AOO.
Roger, I could not copy you on my local antenna, but I was copying you between Arlington, Virginia, and Milford, PA. And Arlington has got a very nice SDR in that the frequency range is down to 100 cycles. So you do have a lot of content in the lower end, but you do have enough content, it seems like, on the upper end to balance it out. So I would say maybe you might want to pull back that bottom end just one click on the bottom end. What type of EQ do you have, sir?
Bottom end. What type of EQ do you have, sir?
Say again there, what type of what do I have?
Equalization. You're running 7300, so you have a 2-band EQ. So I would suggest pulling one click off the bottom end. Roll one click off the bottom end to kind of balance out to the top end treble. Roger, one click bottom end roll. Roger.
Roll. Roger.
Okay, one click on the bottom end roll of the treble. As soon as I figure out how to do that. I don't
fool with the radio too much, so I just have basically mic
gain and compression and a monitor at this end.
Roger, yeah, I was talking about rolling one click off the bottom end, one click off your bass, because your bass is very active, and your top end sounds fine, just that your bass end is a little hot. So when you get a chance, make a note to self-roll, one click bass off, negative one click on the bass. Roger?
Off. Negative one click on the bass. Roger. Can you just give me a quick, can I just get a quick signal report also from you? I want to compare this. I'm running the vertical here. I'd like to compare it to the dipole if that works for you.
Okay, well, let's see here. I have got your voice peak set for 0. I'm using Georgia right now as an SDR. I have your voice peak set to 0. So if you want to switch antennas, okay, is it possible to switch antennas in a 10 count at 5? Switch antennas?
Switch antennas in a 10 count at 5. Switch antennas? Sure, I'm on the dipole now. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'll switch over to the vertical. Stand by 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm on the vertical now. Go ahead.
Roger, your other antenna is about 4 dB hotter than the vertical. Roger.
About 4 dB hotter than the vertical. Roger. Okay. Well, thanks a lot for the signal report there.
All right, and come back on your hotter antenna, if you would, just for a moment.
And you said this one seems to be doing much better.
Yeah, Roger. Okay, and I would say 2 clicks. Roll 2 clicks on your bass. 2 clicks off bass EQ. Roger.
Off bass EQ. Roger.
Roger. I did make a notation in my notes for that, so I'll roll off 2 clicks when next chance we get.
Yeah, and you got plenty of top end. I had a nice little, Mother Nature just gave me a nice little increase in signal for you, and so you do have a nice top end. I would say, roll that bottom off just a tad, and you'll be in excellent shape. Roger?
Just a tad, and you'll be in excellent shape. Roger?
Roger. Okay, thanks. Let you go there into AOO here.
Roger, sir, 73, and have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. And we are recording now, so we'll be posting this up on YouTube by noon tomorrow. If you're interested, go to YouTube, do a call letter search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, followed by the word logbook, and that will take you to our main YouTube page for our QSO-VLOG recordings, 1900 at the moment, over 1900, but this one will be cut 1. Regardless of what YouTube says is cut 1, this will be it. So there you go. 73. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. 9 Oscar Golf Bravo.
Station ending in Bravo. Come back with your call sign slowly phonetically.
Ending in Bravo. Come back with your call sign slowly phonetically. Kilo Delta 9 Oscar Golf Bravo. That's Oscar Germany Bravo. QSO.
Oscar Golf Bravo. Roger. What's the name?
Oscar Golf Bravo. Roger. What's the name? Name here is Scott. Sierra Charlie Oscar Tango Tango. Long QTH is Marion, Indiana.
Roger, Marion, Indiana. Roger. We're just across the Ohio River from Louisville, Kentucky, on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville. Roger.
Kentucky, on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville. Roger. Roger. I'm running an FTDX10 here, and it's relatively new to me. QSO.
Yes, sir. You seem like you might be a little hot into your ALC, so if you would, and if you're interested in getting a nice little setup, it starts with engaging your compressor at a 3. It's a token amount, something you'll never really hear operating on the air, but it does what we need it to do. So our setup procedure starts with the engaging of the compressor at a 3. Roger?
Starts with the engaging of the compressor at a 3. Roger? Come back on the compression level, please.
Number 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 level on the compressor. Roger?
3. 1, 2, 3. 3 level on the compressor. Roger?
Roger, roger. I'm reducing it a little bit. This is KC9VKV. How's that?
Yes, sir. Well, let's proceed on here. Following that, we go to your ALC with mic gain in hand, and as you speak fairly rapidly, 100, 200, 300, or words to that effect, we want you to adjust the mic gain until your ALC meter is reading mid-scale to 2/3. Mid-scale to 2/3 on the ALC meter by way of mic gain manipulation.
2/3 on the ALC meter by way of mic gain manipulation.
Roger, roger. Adjusting it now. I'm about, this is KD9OGB, and I am about 2/3 now. 2/3, roger.
Yes, sir. Now you're at about 3 dB dynamic range. Before, you were really hot going into your ALC, and you had about a dB dynamic range, so your words were really blurry. And the whole idea of our setup is that it's loud, but it's crystal clear. There's no up against the wall sound, but it is as loud as you can be before the words start to bend. Roger?
As loud as you can be before the words start to bend. Roger?
Roger, roger. Got that set. How's the overall quality of this? Is it a little bassy?
No, it's actually pretty much full upper mids. But what do you have for an equalizer? Is it 3-band, 10, 8-band, or what?
Do you have for an equalizer? Is it 3-band, 10, 8-band, or what?
Bear with me. I have to get to it.
I pray for simplicity every day, so hopefully it's a 2-band or a 3-band, but we'll tackle it whatever it is.
It's a 2-band or a 3-band, but we'll tackle it whatever it is.
The EQ1 at 200 hertz is set to level 7. EQ2 is 1300 and it's level 6. And the high ends are set at max at 10.
Okay, so you have a 3-band EQ. So what I want you to do is set that mid-band EQ at flat, and cut nor boost, flat on your mid-range EQ. Roger?
Cut nor boost, flat on your mid-range EQ. Roger?
Roger that. Currently at 1300. I should reduce that?
To the level of it. Don't worry about the frequency of it. Just you want to take the attenuation or boost to 0, where it's in the middle there, neither cut nor boost. Roger?
0, where it's in the middle there, neither cut nor boost. Roger?
Roger that. It is now set to 0.
Yes, sir. Okay, now what I would like for you to do is give me about 30 seconds or so. Tell me about your antenna system. Roger?
30 seconds or so. Tell me about your antenna system. Roger?
Yeah, roger that, roger that. Currently, like I said, running this FTDX10, and I'm on a MSJ doublet that I just put up a couple weeks ago. It's about, the peak is about 20 feet. I need to get a little bit higher, but that's what I've got at this point. Relatively new ham. I'm coming up on my, actually I just had my 2-year anniversary, so I've only had my license for 2 years, QSO.
Ah, roger that, roger that. Okay, now on your treble EQ, I want you to raise that by 3 clicks. Treble EQ boost by 3 clicks. Roger?
Clicks. Treble EQ boost by 3 clicks. Roger?
Roger that. They have been increased by 3 clicks, QSO. How's this sounding now?
Okay, and you have a fixed EQ on those, that 3-band, right? It's not a parametric?
I have a fixed EQ on those, that 3-band, right? It's not a parametric?
Correct. I've got EQ1, EQ2, and EQ3.
Yes, sir. Okay, let's go to the bottom side now and advance your bass by 2 clicks from where you are. 2 clicks bass boost from where you are.
Where you are. 2 clicks bass boost from where you are.
Okay, I've reduced actually all 3 EQs for the bass down 2 clicks. I've put it down 2 clicks, Roger.
There's only one control for the bass, isn't there?
There's only one control for the bass, isn't there?
Negative on the transmit audio. I've got the frequency range for the bass is in all 3 bands. I think one is with the EQ on and the other 2 are not, but I've reduced all 3 of those by 2 clicks.
I was suggesting that you boost by 2 clicks. That's what I said. Bass boost, 2 clicks from where you are, and we want the attenuate push control, not the curve or the width or the frequency selection of the device. We're just looking for the boost or cut, and we want to boost 2 clicks on your bass from where you are.
The boost 2 clicks on your bass from where you are.
Yeah, I'm looking at my transmit audio trying to find just the bass. Hang on, bear with me just a moment.
That would be an SSB transmit.
That would be an SSB transmit.
Okay, Roger, I found the bass gain and have increased it by 2 clicks.
Okay, 2 more clicks. Boost 2 more in addition to the last 2.
More clicks. Boost 2 more in addition to the last 2.
Roger that. They have been made. How's that sounding now, QSO?
Let's just play with it here for a moment. I'm not hearing much of a bass increase. Go for 2 more. I'm looking at your audio, listening to your audio. Go for 2 more bass boosts from where you are.
Audio, listening to your audio. Go for 2 more bass boosts from where you are.
I just did it 2 more. I may be in the wrong spot. Let me dig around a little bit more here. Go back. Whoops. Back. EQ on processor level. EMC level. CW pitch. Either in the radio settings or but that's the AF gain, so that would be incoming. That's all incoming. Go back to operation settings. I got transmit audio and transmit general. Under the transmit general, I don't see anything for bass control. And then the transmit audio is basically the EQs. QSO?
Yes, sir. That's what we're talking about. Equalization. And I'm not familiar with radio. That's why I ask you if if it was a 3-band EQ or just exactly what you had, whether it was a parametric or not. These things make a difference. So I'm assuming that you're not had that radio too long, Roger.
I'm assuming that you're not had that radio too long, Roger.
Yeah, I've only had it a couple months, but it does have the 3 parametric EQ areas.
Yes, sir. Well, what we're talking about is not worried about the parametric settings at the moment. We're just going to take them as they were and just increase the ability to boost or cut, not the frequency range, or the curve of the EQ itself. We're just going to take all that. We're just going to do a cut or boost on the bass EQ. So if you can figure out the one part that does the bass boost or cut, that's the one we're looking at, Roger?
Boost or cut, that's the one we're looking at, Roger?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I'm just not, I'm not quite sure where to find it right now, Jim. I'm really not, and I don't want to waste a lot of your airtime when you could be helping somebody else too. But I think from what you're saying, I just need to boost the bass a little bit. But overall, my audio settings are better than they were, Roger.
Yes, sir, exactly. And, where you are, I wouldn't kick that out of bed. I mean, you're nice, you're very intelligible. That's the whole part about communications, is to have an intelligible signal that is being received. So you have that, but you could be just a little fuller in your EQ pattern. So let me just say it this way. When you find out how to adjust your bass intensity or roll, I want you to boost your bass 2 clicks from where it is. So, that'll make you just a little bit fuller on the bottom end. Roger?
That'll make you just a little bit fuller on the bottom end. Roger?
Roger. I appreciate your help. I will do some digging into that and figure out where that is and get her done. I appreciate your help, sir. I've been subscribed to your channel for a while, and it's an honor to finally speak to you. This is KD9OGB.
Roger, Scott. Well, we'll prevail. That's the whole thing about situations that you may not understand at the moment. It's perseverance, and that's what it will take sometimes to achieve certain goals. And so I'm sure that you'll sit down with that book and get a little more informed about equalization. That's one of the aspects of your transmitter that is important, because if you stop to consider, if your whole top end was missing and your whole bottom end was boosted, it would be like Mr. Bassman, like some of those rap concerts where all you hear is the bass. You don't hear anything else but the bass, and the bass is terribly distorted. Well, that's the opposite of what we're trying to do here. We're trying to get a very linear curve on your audio, so you have a nice mid-range, you have a nice top, and you have a nice bottom. So if you get a chance, check back with us next Friday, and maybe we'll make those corrections. Or if you want to go ahead and make those corrections, just drop by and let me give a listen to you, Roger.
Make those corrections. Just drop by and let me give a listen to you, Roger.
Roger. I appreciate it, and I'll try to catch you back next Friday. For now, I'll say 73s. I'm sure there's some other people waiting. God bless, and we'll catch you on the log. KC9VKV, this is KD9OGB.
Roger, Scott, 73, sir. You have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend. And again, if you want to hear your recording, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by today's date, which is 12. I'm sorry, that's the other way. I'm trying to do a different way now. So if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you directly to this recording. This will be cut number 1 in a series of 1900. Regardless of what YouTube says, this will be cut number 1, and we'll have it uploaded to YouTube by tomorrow at noon. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
There's about 3 stations back there. Loudest one, try it. I'm listening.
Back there, loudest one, try it. I'm listening.
I heard just the end of somebody on Milford, so a station that just tries to try it again. I'll see if I can copy you.
Try it again. I'll see if I can copy you.
Station saying no problem. This is KC9VKV. What's the call there?
What's the call there?
I'm not sure we're in the same conversation. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
You want to check out? Give me a shout.
Station that just said over. I just ran across you on Milford SDR. Try your call sign slowly, phonetically, please.
Call sign slowly, phonetically, please.
Yep, well, I beat the tone, don't want to throw by nothing but the cool,
Sorry, you're right at my noise level. Right at, and actually under my noise level. Gosh, if my signal comes up to you at a later moment, why don't you try me again? But right now, your signal is beneath my noise level. Roger, roger.
My noise level. Roger, roger.
This is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net from now till 5. We record live and then post it up on YouTube so folks can hear what they sound like as before we set them up and after we set them up. And if you have a radio that you want to check out, give me a shout. Station calling KC9VKV, come back again.
KC9VKV, come back again.
For you there.
Tough copy for me. I just ran across you in Georgia. Come back with the call sign, sir.
Across you in Georgia. Come back with the call sign, sir.
No, I'm in New York. New Jersey, rather. Norway 2, Queen, Florida. November 2, Quebec, Fox. Just letting you know that there's other stations on frequency. So a lot of stations may have a hard time copying it over.
I'm not sure exactly what you're saying, sir. Say that one more time. I've got a good copy on you, so try it again.
Say that one more time. I've got a good copy on you, so try it again.
QQF, this is KC9VKV. Do you copy?
QQF, this is KC9VKV. Do you copy?
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you that it's hard for a lot of stations to copy you because there's other stations beneath you or along with you in certain cases. They're transmitting from different areas. They don't hear you, but it's hard to copy you there. Over.
Roger. What you're saying is adjacent channel interference. Is that a roger?
Roger. What you're saying is adjacent channel interference. Is that a roger?
No, same frequency.
Well, everybody has the ability to run at whatever frequency they want. Usually that folks respect the aspects of a station being on the frequency and the frequency being in use, and they move off 3KC one side or the other. But, it takes all kinds, Roger.
One side or the other, but, it takes all kinds, Roger.
Yeah, I actually think they were here before you. I just don't think you hear them. I don't think it's intentional QRM. I think the band just changed. I was just letting you know. No, it's not a matter of who's right or wrong. I was just giving you a heads up so that way you understood some stations might have a hard time copying that. That's all.
Roger. Well, we've been on since 3:30. We started our net at 3:30. So, what can I say? Pays your money, takes your chances, Roger.
Pays your money, takes your chances, Roger.
Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, well, good luck. Sorry. Enjoy.
Roger, Roger, QQF. Appreciate the info there. You have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. And gosh, we're trying all we can to be living up to our motto of be all that you can be, and that's once you do that, then you have exerted the maximum part of your capability. So whether you actually make the trip or not, it's not really important. The point is that you give it the best shot you've got. So there you go. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
And I'm also running 4 SDRs, internet SDRs. So, gosh, I should be able to get a copy on you. If you're other than 10.1 everywhere, I should be able to get a copy on you with 4 internet SDRs spread across the eastern part of the United States, along with 3 10-foot vertical magnetic loops on my local receiver. One way or the other, we should be able to pull you out there. This is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net listening.
QSO-VLOG net listening.
Kilo 2, Lima, Charlie.
Lima, Charlie. Come back with that call sign slowly phonetically.
With that call sign slowly phonetically.
Well, good afternoon. Kilo 2, Lima, Charlie. The name is Linwood, Lima, India, November. Whiskey, Oscar, Delta, Linwood, located down here in Lynchburg, Virginia. Good afternoon.
Yes, sir, Linwood. Good afternoon to you, sir. You're about 20 over on Milford. Roger, Roger.
20 over on Milford. Roger, Roger.
As are you as well down here in the central portion of Virginia. Just wanted to check in this afternoon. I'm running remote hams on a laptop using a USB gaming headset that I want to use for some other purposes, and thought I would check in with you and see what your thoughts might be. Go ahead.
Okay, listening to it, it does sound a little bit telephony, but nice in all aspects. I understand what you're doing there, and I would say, maybe if you have an EQ on that on your transmitter, you might boost the upper mids just a couple of clicks for further intelligibility. Roger.
For further intelligibility. Roger.
Sierra Bravo frequency is in use.
Sierra Bravo frequency is in use.
LLC, still got a copy?
LLC, still got a copy?
Okay, am I back or did I lose you totally?
No, you're back and you sound better. Roger, Roger.
Now you're back and you sound better. Roger, Roger.
Well, I'm not sure what I did. I hit the wrong button in trying to go to the to equalization, and I missed what you said about the equalization. Go ahead.
Well, it sounds like you have more top end than what you had a moment ago, so I would go with it just the way it is right now. Roger?
I would go with it just the way it is right now. Roger?
Indeed, I will do that again. Thank you so much. Again, yeah, it's not broad, not a great sound, I would imagine, but I think it's probably. I'm setting this up to use it with a parks on the air situation, so that's what I was trying to set it up for. That's the goal. K2LO3.
Roger. Now, I must inform you that there is some noise when you first key in. There's a lot of disturbance there. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but there is some noise as you first key for about half a second. Roger?
For about half a second. Roger?
Okay, not sure exactly what that is, but I'll look into that and see if I can figure out exactly what's going on. This may not be the ideal situation, but it's what I have to work with at the moment. So thank you so much for your time today, and I hope you'll have a great weekend. This is K2LOC.
Roger, then what could be some compression going on there when you first key in, but once you speak, that level gets down, and your choice, you're beautiful. After the first couple of words, everything gets down, shakedown, and everything is tranquil after that. But just that first key in, it could be that there's a compressor somewhere sucking up the noise until your voice level hits. Roger.
The noise until your voice level hits. Roger.
Monday morning. Well, I do have the compression on, so that probably is what it is on the radio. So I might have to look at that or come up with some sort of a different. But I imagine, regardless of whatever microphone I use in this capacity, there's going to be a little bit of that compression to start off with.
Yeah, Roger. I usually recommend a 3. A 3 will give you the same thing as a 6 without the suck up. A level of 3 on your compressor will give you the same thing as a 6 without the suck up. And if you're just talking about using the compressor on the words, a 3 is ideal because it's actually working on the word. Whereas a 6 is working on the dead air between the words.
6 is working on the dead air between the words.
Well, interestingly enough, I had it already set at 3, so I backed it up to 2. I'm not sure if that made any difference at all or not. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll tell you a test we do here is why don't you talk for about 10 seconds and then take a 10-second pause without saying anything, and let's see where the compressor goes. Roger?
Where the compressor goes. Roger?
Okay, that sounds like a great idea. This is Kilo 2 Lima Charlie. The name is Linwood. I'm down here in Lynchburg, Virginia, where it is 66 degrees and sunny. Now we'll take a pause. K2LOC.
Yes, sir. Yeah, your compressor eventually comes back to 0 level, which is the peak that I set your voice to on your peaks. So that is what is happening. It's non-compressed when you key in, and then when you speak, it seeks the proper level. Roger.
When you speak, it seeks the proper level. Roger.
Okay, well that's good to know. I could always turn the compression off and see if that makes a significant amount of difference, or we could just leave it like it is, I suppose.
Well, if you would like, go ahead and turn it off, and we'll see what it sounds like with it off.
We'll see what it sounds like with it off.
Okay, there's with the compression off. And I'll pause a moment and then cut the compression back on. This is K2LOC, pausing for a moment.
Roger that. Well, it was doing about the same thing, so you might be hot into your ALC. That would be the other thing that I would think about. But there is some compression coming somewhere along the line, and because it is a delayed recovery, I'm saying it's a compressor somewhere versus your ALC, because your ALC is extremely fast attack and release. So it's a compressor because it gains over time. As far as the ALC would be just instantaneous. Roger.
The ALC would be just instantaneous. Roger.
Okay, well, I cut the ALC. It was a little bit hot, so I moved the ALC back just a little bit to see if that made any difference at all or not.
I lost you mid-sentence. Linwood, I lost you mid-sentence, Roger.
Linwood, I lost you mid-sentence, Roger.
Okay, I said I cut the ALC back just a little bit to see if that would make a difference. It was a little bit on the upper side, so now it's down more towards the 75% territory. So I don't know if that makes any difference or not.
In your audio, I like it where it is now. I would run it that way. And like I say, somewhere along the way there is some compression, but once you begin to speak, your level seeks normalcy, and you have a beautiful audio. And seldom would you have a conversation where you're keyed for 10 seconds and not saying anything.
Where you're keyed for 10 seconds and not saying anything.
That is right, Mike. That is right. No worries.
Indeed, there's a great deal of truth to that. Okay, thank you so much for your time. I'm got my settings in here, and so I'll know what to do from this point on. And I do hope you have a great weekend, and appreciate and thank you so much for the service that you provide all of us hams. 73 Blue Skies. This is K2 LLC.
Roger, Linwood 73, sir, and I wish you luck on your remote operation there. It's always, if it's not difficult enough with hands-on right at the moment, then try it by remote control. It can always get more interesting. 73, sir, have a great afternoon, a beautiful weekend. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon, QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
I've been around the horn 2 or 3 times on my SDRs, and my local antenna have not copied anything. This is KC9VKV. We're recording now, live till 5, so we have about 10 minutes. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Whiskey Alpha Kilo, Delta 2, Delta Mike Romeo.
Delta Mike Romeo, come back slowly, phonetically with the call sign, please.
Come back slowly, phonetically with the call sign, please.
Hi, Jim. November 2, Victor Juliet. Jamie's out there. He's running around mobile. Can you hear him?
I've got 2 or 3 back in down the way there. They're conducting their own conversation. Those guys are. I don't know. Apparently they can't hear, the net. But I didn't hear the mobile, Roger.
But I didn't hear the mobile, Roger.
Yeah, Roger that. Mike, you're beautiful, beautiful. KD2DMR. He can't hear you right now. I just thought I wanted to say hello to him. Jim, beautiful as always. 2025 over. KD2DMR.
Yeah.
Roger, did the mobile come back just then?
Roger, did the mobile come back just then?
Negative. Mike?
Where is the mobile at?
Where is the mobile at?
Wyndham, New York. Where are you mobile, Jamie?
Yeah, I've got an SDR in Rochester. I don't hear him on that.
I've got an SDR in Rochester. I don't hear him on that.
Yeah, too close, right?
Too close. Well, let me look around here. Tell him to give me a 10 count, and let me run through the stuff, and I'll see if I can find him somewhere.
I'll see if I can find him somewhere.
1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is November 2, Victor Juliet Mobile. You might catch me like on WD3C down there. That's a possibility, or maybe even a little farther down on KW4VA, Mike. I'll stand by here. This is N2VJ Mobile.
VJ Mobile, I found you down in Georgia, sir. You're about 6 over the noise level on the Atlanta, Georgia SDR, Roger.
The noise level on the Atlanta, Georgia SDR, Roger.
Wow, that's amazing, Mike. Yeah, the band, it seems like it's pushing out. I'm hearing you just fine. You're about, I'll put it about 10 or 15 over. Mike, I cannot tell you how many times I've listened to you on a Friday night. You kind of keep me company. I have to commute home on Friday nights. I work in Syracuse, New York. I live about 180 miles to
to the east in Windham, New York, in the Catskill Mountains. And I want to thank my friend KC2DMR for the assist. He and I have been friends. We've known each other a long time. So, Mike, fantastic signal here. My name is Jamie, by the way, Japan Alpha Mike India Echo. Yeah, boy, I can't remember your call. I'm driving. You've got to forgive me, Mike. This is N2VJ Mobile.
Roger, Jamie. Well, I'm not sure exactly who Mike is. My name is Jim. Juliet India Mike. Roger, Roger.
Jim. Juliet India Mike. Roger, Roger.
I'm sorry, Jim. I thought I heard somebody call you Mike before.
Yes, sir. Well, they've called me other things before, too, you know. But all right, and Jamie, give me your call sign one more time, slowly, phonetically.
All right, and Jamie, give me your call sign one more time, slowly, phonetically.
Sure. My call is November 2, Victor Juliet, N2VJ Mobile, and I'm south of Syracuse, New York, headed east on Route 20. Over.
Roger, Roger. Well, you're about 8 dB over the Atlanta, Georgia SDR noise level, so you're doing a heck of a job down in Georgia, Roger.
SDR noise level, so you're doing a heck of a job down in Georgia, Roger.
Okay, thank you. I'll let you carry on with my friend KC2DMR. It's good to hear you in there, Jim, and also, boy, I'm drawing a blank. KC2DMR, I'm drawing a blank on your name. I've known you for years. It's been a long day. I've been working 14 hours here. So I'll pass it to KC2DMR. Thank you so much for the assist, and it's good to hear you actually on the air. He and I usually talk via Facebook. KC2DMR, you guys go ahead, and I'll just kind of listen to DJ Mobile.
Roger. Yeah, we don't do a lot of queuing on the air. Kilo Delta 2, Delta Mike Romeo, Jeremy, Northwest Illinois now. Jim, back to you, KD2DMR. Just thought I'd like to hear that one. If you knew what he was really up to, you'd love him. KD2DMR, 73, Jim.
Roger, DMR, what is the name there?
Roger, DMR, what is the name there?
Jeremy and Juliet Echo Romeo Echo Mike Yankee.
Roger, and into VJ, what was his name?
Roger, and into VJ, what was his name?
That's Jamie Lambada.
Roger, Jamie and Jeremy, is that a Roger, Roger?
Roger, Jamie and Jeremy, is that a Roger, Roger?
Yeah, Roger.
All right, I keep my J's straight, even though my name is J. Jim. I'll keep all those. Sure, I will. All right, appreciate the drop by there. And that mobile's screaming down in Georgia. Must be a heck of a directional antenna on that mobile. I could not copy. I've got Rochester, Milford, Arlington, plus my 3 10-foot vertical magnetic loops, and he was just tearing up Georgia, so I'm not real sure.
He was just tearing up Georgia, so I'm not real sure.
That's the first time I've heard him in the mobile. I usually catch him at the house. All right, brother. Do your thing. KD2DMR. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. 73, sir, and have a great afternoon. Beautiful weekend. We have about 4 minutes to go before I turn into a pumpkin. I've now remembered what it is I turn into. I forgot there for a couple of times, but I do turn into a pumpkin at 5 o'clock. So we have about 4 minutes. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Foxtrot X-ray.
There is a Foxtrot X-ray in my life. Foxtrot X-ray. Come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign, please.
Foxtrot X-ray. Come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign, please.
Roger, Jim. Here is Kilo Alpha 3, Charlie Foxtrot X-ray. That's Kilowatt America 3. Charlie Foxtrot X-ray. Name is Joe. Now there's 4 J's. There's Jim and Jeremy and Jamie, and now it's Joe. Jim, we've had work before, 2 years ago and 4 years ago. I'm running an FT450 Delta. It's got presets for audio profile, and presently I've got it set for equalization that accentuates the highs and diminishes the lows. And I just want your critique on that, Jim. So enough said here. I think you might have been able to copy some of this. Back to you, Jim.
Yes, sir. Copied all of that. EQ pattern is mainly upper mids, not a lot of bottom end, but highly intelligible. So I'm assuming that you're on your bass. Is that a Roger?
Intelligible. So I'm assuming that you're on your bass. Is that a Roger?
That's correct. That's Roger, Jim. It's just a FT450 Delta, 100 watts into an end-fed half wave. Since you were 10 over S9, I thought I might have a chance of being heard. Over.
Yes, sir. No doubt. Matter of fact, let me try my local antenna. Why don't you give me about 10 seconds and tell me about your antenna system, and I'll look on my local antenna. Roger?
Tell me about your antenna system, and I'll look on my local antenna. Roger?
Roger.
I heard nothing on my local antenna, but I'm back on Milford. Roger?
I heard nothing on my local antenna, but I'm back on Milford. Roger?
Yeah, Joe, this is KC9VKV. Have a copy?
Yeah, Joe, this is KC9VKV. Have a copy? Okay, you still talk. Do it again, Joe.
Alpha 3 Charlie Fox X-ray. Joe with the FT450 Delta with the preset of 9, whatever that means, relative scale 9 on equalization. Accentuates the highs and diminishes the lows. Over.
Yes, sir. Now I have a beautiful copy on my local antenna, and my zero position 10-foot vertical magnetic loop. You're about 15 over. So, looking at your signal in the spectrum analyzer, you're mainly upper mids. If you would like a little more bottom end, if you have, you could go to your EQ control, and we'll figure out what kind of EQ you have and what we need to do. Roger?
Roger, the transmit wouldn't work because I still had it in function menu mode. Jim, I took the liberty to set it for a flat line base equalization, so it should be relatively flat from end to end. K3CX with a equalization of 0. How copy?
Yes, sir. Well, you're rolling off there probably about 250 cycles. We could give you a little bit fatter bottom end if you'd like. Maybe a 2 clicks boost bass EQ. We'll see where that goes, depending on what kind of equalizer you have, whether it's a 3-band, 8-band, 16-band, or whatever it might be.
Oh, Jim, sorry for the delay. I had my fingers in the menu to see if we're doubling. No, we're not. It's no such thing. It's not an outboard equalizer, but rather the onboard, whatever the Yazoo is given, made available to us. It's just presets with the equalization, and it's I said 0. It might be 0 through 9 or 1 through 9. This is without equalization. This is just a flat, and I've been using it way up to 9. It's just relative scale 9. That's lots of highs, very low lows, and the mid-range is supposed to be what it would be without any equalization. That's all we have here, Jim. Roger?
I wouldn't do a thing. I would keep it. It's nice, intelligible, and full. Your audio is about 3 dB dynamic range, which is where you want to be. Nice fat signal, and the EQ, like I say, it's kind of weighted towards the upper mids, but very intelligible. Roger?
Roger. Now I've gone back to the equalization when I first gave my call sign out to you, and thanks for picking me up, Jim. I know there's a big pile. Oh wait, you're going to turn into a pumpkin. I better give you back the mic, Jim. Thank you, and thanks to Jeremy on the side. KC9VKV, friend to all here in the ham fraternity. K3CFX.
Roger, Joe. I would take it back to the one before this one. You're very upper mids on this one. I would go back to the one that you were running just before this one.
Roger, I have changed. This is without any equalization. It's just a flat. Oh, by the way, this is. I'm using a Kenwood mic. The Kenwood seems to the handheld here. It's a 35-year-old mic. It came with the TS830S. The Kenwood, Kenwood's going to have better sound than the Yazoo, don't you think, over?
Well, it all depends, but right now that microphone is doing you very nicely. You might be a little hot into your ALC, so if you know where your ALC is, I would go there with mic gain in hand, and as one would speak fairly rapidly, rapid cadence to get that meter up to see what it's doing, 100, 200, 300, etc. I would use my mic gain and adjust that ALC meter for mid-scale to 2/3 operation. Roger?
Understood, Roger. However, once again, the Yazoo doesn't give me much in the way of linear control of mic gain. I have 3 positions. There's low, there's medium, and there's high. I had been at high, now I'm at medium. This is normal range. Either that or maybe I shouldn't shout into the microphone. Jim, this is flat equalization, none whatsoever, emphasized, and the mic gain is at normal, what they would call normal or mid-scale, medium. Over.
Yes, sir. I would run it at medium. That seems to be about 3 dB dynamic range, so the words are not blurry, but you're loud. So that's that's the whole name of the game, Roger.
Well, that's the big help to me. Thank you, Jim. Thank you. And after having done all this, the reason being, I want audio that sounds somewhat intelligible, though I'm never intelligible, but human, let's say. And because I'm going to dare use this rig to operate 25 carrier AM, and I don't want to get chased out of the AM community, Roger.
Oh, listen, well, the only thing I can say about the AM community is sometimes them guys take long key downs. If you're in a round robin on an AM net, sometimes it can be 12 or 15 hours before it gets back to you.
Don't I know it? Well, I'm an AMer for about 40 years ago, and I had a foot switch, and it was so convenient just to touch the foot switch, and yeah, you held the mic for as long as you could. Yes. Well, those are bygone days. I gave all that vintage gear away. Jim, thanks for your help this evening. I hope you have not turned into a pumpkin. But pumpkin or not, you're a friend to all the fraternity who seeks your advice here on 40 meters, 7188. God bless you. Thank you. KC9VKV. My friend, KA3CFX.
Roger, Joe. Well, I just have a little latent pumpkin on me right at the moment, so if I get out of here, I'll not suffer too badly. So let me say 73, sir, have a good afternoon, great weekend, and we are overdue here for pumpkin whatever, so let me get out of here and return this frequency back to normal amateur radio use, average amateur radio use. This is KC9VKV. Thank you much, and we'll be clear.
Thank you, Jim.
Roger.